Hey guys, welcome to Box Office Watch, and today we'll be discussing a very important issue, the future of the DC Extended Universe. Seems a lot of things are going on, so we will be voicing our opinions on that and what should happen in the future. So stay tuned, guys. Hey guys, welcome to the show. Our other host couldn't make it today, but here we have Jeremy.
Hello?
So today we'll be talking about the future of the DC Extended Universe and Batman v Superman's performance. And, oh my. So, looks like word of mouth and Rotten Tomatoes and the critics actually ended up having the final word. Because on Friday, we don't have official numbers yet. Stay tuned in the future and we'll have our official numbers. But it only made $15 million, which is around an 78 to 81% drop, which is really bad, especially because it has no competition. Jeremy, what are your thoughts?
Um, well, you'll always see this with, big movies like this with a lot of hype and everything. They tend to have really big Friday drops, but even even with that, this drop is particularly bad. I mean, you also have to factor in that last Friday was particularly bloated because it had like the Thursday preview numbers included in it, and it was also Good Friday, which like a lot of people had off from school and work and everything. So it'll probably stabilize a little over the weekend, but it's still going to be a really bad drop. Definitely over 70% for the weekend.
Yeah, things aren't really looking good for the movie. And the key is not bad reviews from Rotten Tomatoes, it's also the mixed reviews from the actual fans of the movie.
Yeah.
So, and internationally, it did about $19 million, which is not much more than what we had in the week.
Yeah, I saw that number, and I don't know. That just seems. I don't. I'm not sure about trusting that because that just seems like impossibly low. But I don't know. Maybe it is that bad. I'm not sure.
And guys, do keep in mind that we will have official numbers by the end of the weekend, but early estimates, I mean, unless they like pull a Hail Mary, things aren't looking good right now. So, and also word of mouth really did contribute to that because the weekly drops, the daily drops, they were always dropping. And you'd think that Batman v Superman would take the best pre-summer second week opening from American Sniper, which is also from Warner Brothers, but I don't think it will have legs.
No, no, it definitely doesn't look like it's going to. I mean, funnily enough, it actually looks like the second weekend of Batman v Superman is going to be lower than Zootopia's second weekend. That's how bad it's looking.
Yeah, and Zootopia looks to have very strong legs.
Yeah, Zootopia is holding up really well. Yeah.
It's probably, and positive reviews really help that too because it has like a 99 in Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I saw the movie. I don't think it's quite 99% good. Maybe like 85, 90%. But yeah. Anyway, that's totally off topic.
But yeah, so word of mouth really affected this. So at the end of the day, we're looking at about, I think it will crawl to 350 million.
Hmm.
And worldwide, I think a billion is off the table.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, it really really sucks because this movie really did have a lot going for it, and I think that they didn't take their time with this. They really did not take their time with this.
Yeah, they really put all their eggs in one basket with this movie, and if it ended up not being as successful as they wanted, I mean, it puts the whole DCEU's future in jeopardy, kind of.
And this leads many to wonder if they are actually going to put the extended cut in theaters to make up for what they wanted to achieve. What do you think of this?
Um, I don't think it would really be a good move to put the extended cut in theaters. I mean, first of all, it's like 3 hours. It would be R, so I mean, you're just going to alienate even more of the general audience and everything. I mean, you'll get fanboys out to see it and everything, but I don't think it would really. I mean, maybe it would get like an additional 5 million or something. It really wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah, I think that what they should have originally done, because this is only a rumor, but apparently the theatrical. Because remember all of these early reviews, these supposed early reviews for the movie, and how they're overwhelmingly positive?
Uh huh.
Yeah, so apparently they showed them the 3 hour cut of the movie.
Oh, okay.
So I guess they would. I think that they should release the extended cut, and I think that it will at least make $50 million if they release it in enough theaters.
Mm-hmm.
And like right before Suicide Squad, I think that that is their best bet right now. And then people are wondering if Zack should direct Justice League.
Yeah. I don't know. At this point, given how people have felt about Man of Steel and Batman v Superman, a lot of people seem to have turned against Snyder and his vision for the franchise and everything. And I mean, Warner Brothers, they've got to be questioning if he's the right guy to move forward with. And I mean, especially if Suicide Squad is actually good and successful, and it's not directed by Snyder, I mean, they might have to rethink things even more.
Yeah. I think that they should maybe pass the torch to George Miller because
Mm,
he has a really good track record. He did Mad Max, which did he win
yeah.
Best Director?
I don't think so. I forget who did win. I was I think it wasn't it Inarritu for The Revenant, or maybe I think he won for that. I could be wrong. I'll look it up.
But yeah, I don't think that Zach. They should maybe make him step off for part two because part one is starting principal photography in about 9 days, 9 or 8 days. I'm not sure. So it would
Hmm.
be very disastrous for them to completely redo that.
Yeah.
And there are also many rumors that they are reshooting Suicide Squad to make it lighter and like
I mean, go ahead.
no, you continue.
Okay. No, I was just gonna say I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I guess they're probably doing that because Batman v Superman was criticized as just being too dark and grim and just it didn't have any like levity to it. So I understand where they're coming from that. But then again, Suicide Squad is a team of literal bad guys. So it's like it seems like it should be dark.
Yeah. Apparently, all of the jokes that were in the trailer, were in the movie. Were the only jokes that were in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know how I feel about this. I really don't. Because if they do, it could be really disastrous because A, they're spending a lot of money and they're rushing it out. And by the time they edit everything, like what's left?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, but I do think that Suicide Squad will do pretty well in the box office if it gets good reviews.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's hard to get worse reviews than Batman v Superman, admittedly.
And the general audience, not they don't really know that Suicide Squad is attached to the DC Extended Universe. I mean, they know, but it's been
Mhm.
really marketed differently from Batman v Superman.
Yeah, I mean, it couldn't hurt to. I mean, maybe the third trailer put a little more emphasis on the Batman cameo, just to you know let the general audience know that like it's the Ben Affleck Batman and it's part of the same universe and all.
Yeah. So since people know that it's loosely based on it, then I think that they are going to they're going to want to see it because there is the Joker, and then people say,
Mhm.
"Oh, Margot Robbie. Yeah, we need to have her."
Yeah.
And so what do you think that the next step should be for the universe?
Well, I mean that's a tough question. I mean, I'm sure a lot of studio heads at Warner Brothers are scratching their heads trying to figure it out too. But I honestly, if it were up to me, I would probably. I mean, I wouldn't cut ties with Snyder. I would just take kind of creative control away from him. I think you can keep him on as like a producer and everything because he definitely has like that visual flair and everything. But I think that I don't know at this point you kind of just have to cut your losses with him and just yeah. I would probably move on from Snyder if I were them and try to bring someone else. I mean the thing is I mean if you look at Marvel I mean they've had different directors for like so many of their movies and everything and it's managed to work out for them. So I don't think it would be a bad idea necessarily if DC tried something else.
Well, it seems to me like they are fast tracking the Batman movie
Yeah.
because apparently, like Ben Affleck wrote his own script for his own Batman movie. So I think that that's what they're gonna try to do and focus on the things that work for them.
hmm
Like Wonder Woman, she's getting a lot of positive buzz. The two things that people really liked about Batman v Superman were Wonder Woman and Batman. So they're gonna
Yeah.
put more emphasis on that.
hmm
And they could also pass the torch to Christopher Nolan if he's interested in making another superhero movie.
I don't know. I don't know if Christopher Nolan would go that route. I mean, I think he was kind of burnt out on the whole thing after the Dark Knight trilogy. Plus, I don't know. I mean, for me personally, I'd rather see Nolan do some more, you know, like original, innovative movies like Inception and Interstellar than go back to the superhero world. But I mean, then again, if he wanted to direct one of them, I'm not gonna say no to that.
Or at least, like, write one of them.
Yeah, true. Well, didn't his brother have something to do with Batman v Superman? Or maybe I'm just totally making that up. I might be making that up. I don't know.
I saw something about him being an executive producer for Batman v
Oh,
Superman.
oh, okay, yeah, that's probably what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. So wait, who would be better for a directing role?
Like, who would be my pick? You mean?
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I think the call cut out a little there. Yeah, so you mean like who would be my pick for director?
Yeah.
Um. Oh boy, that's a tough question. Yeah, I do think that George Miller, he would definitely do a good job. Um, I don't know. I mean, that's tough to say, really. Yeah, I'd have to think about that a little.
Because apparently Darkseid, I think that Warner Brothers should delay Justice League at least a few months and rethink
hmm
their direction. Because apparently Darkseid is supposed to be in Justice League Part 1.
hmm
And I think that they did a Death of Superman in um, Batman v Superman a few
Yeah,
movies too early. Like, they used Doomsday way too early
yeah, I
in the
agree.
franchise. And then Lex Luthor, apparently, they want to get a new actor for him and have the Lex Luthor that we saw as Lex Luthor Jr.
hmm
So a lot of money was invested into this universe, and it doesn't seem to have the outcome that they were hoping for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I do think that they're using Darkseid, just too early and everything. Because I mean, Marvel's had Thanos behind the scenes pulling the strings, for so long, and like he was introduced in the Avengers in 2012, and it's not going to be until Infinity War in 2018. So we're talking like 6 years of him just being like in the background, whereas Darkseid is kind of just popping up way sooner than that. So I really feel like the DCEU is it's so rushed. Like it just feels like they're too worried about catching up to Marvel than making their own like good films and like solid universe.
I actually remember how there's a rumor a few months ago about Batman v Superman being split into two parts.
I don't think I heard that one actually.
Well, there was a rumor, and like someone had an image, and it was like Enter the Night part, and it was like Batman v Superman part one, and then part
Uh-huh.
two was Dawn of Justice.
Oh, okay.
That would have actually been way better because you're giving yourself time to develop these characters
Mm-hmm.
and their motivations. Like with the Marvel movies, we've had a, like we know these characters. We don't want to see them fighting. We don't. We know who they are. We've seen them in their own movies, so
Mm-hmm.
we have their perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
With the
And
oh sorry.
well, I was just gonna say, I mean, and the thing with the Marvel movies is they've already had like so many movies, and like we've already seen, the tension between Iron Man and Captain America at times, like in the Avengers, in Age of Ultron, they were kind of, I mean, we see that like their, ideas and personalities are just naturally, they kind of conflict with each other, so it makes sense that they would, go against each other in Civil War. Like it's been built up to this point over all these years, which is something that again, DC didn't have, the opportunity to do.
Yeah, I agree. And the problem with the DCEU is that it doesn't really seem like there's someone overseeing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have Zach, but like who's actually like sitting down writing the ideas?
Yeah, yeah,
And they should actually like bring in like hardcore comic book fans to actually like look at this and say, does this make sense? Because it seems like they just want to make money. They're not future proofing it. And another
yeah. That's true.
and another big problem is that people may not be as keen to see Justice League because they don't want they're going to have reservations for Justice League because they don't want to be disappointed like they did with Batman v Superman.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I think that going forward, they should just take it a little bit slow. I would love to
Mm-hmm.
see if they were to pull back, maybe like just pull back a little, delay Justice League, and actually like just have a small villain, and then have Darkseid come in
Mm-hmm.
as a teaser.
Yeah, I think that would that would definitely be a good idea. Yeah, I agree with that.
So, do you have any closing thoughts?
Um, I mean, I guess just to reiterate what I've said, I think that honestly, Snyder is probably going to be out at some point, or his influence is going to be diminished and everything. I think that Batman v Superman is just gonna keep falling apart at the box office in the weeks to come, and yeah, we'll have to see how Warner Brothers handles all this.
Yeah, I do think that Suicide Squad has a chance of taking down Guardians of the Galaxy's record.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the funny thing though is like Guardians of the Galaxy and Batman v Superman are going to end up making roughly the same amount. I forget how much Guardians made. I think it was like 330 ish, which Batman v Superman is barely going to beat. So I don't know if Suicide Squad can get up to that same level.
And not Suicide Squad. Guardians of the Galaxy is about a talking tree and a raccoon, and that's gonna make slightly less than Batman v Superman.
Yeah.
If you really think about that, that is very sad. And I think that it's gonna crawl like The Dark Knight or The Dark Knight Rises.
Hmm.
And even
Well,
in sorry?
no, no, I was just gonna say. I mean, that's another weird thing is if you think about the fact that like The Dark Knight Rises made 450 domestically, and Batman v Superman isn't even going to come close to that when it's Batman plus Superman plus Wonder Woman plus all these other characters, and it's making way less than just a solo Batman movie. It seems like it's going backwards. But yeah,
Yeah, I think that they should just fast track with the Batman movie and just put the DCEU on rest for a little
yeah,
bit.
I yeah. I mean, if you have a Batman movie that's like written, directed, and starring Ben Affleck, then that has the potential to be a really, really good movie, and that could, bring back a lot of goodwill toward the DC universe.
It would kind of be like the DCEU's version of Thor. Like, yeah, just forget Batman v Superman exists. Or just forget that Thor and Thor
Yeah.
2 exist. So, yeah. What do you guys think about the DC Extended Universe? And what do you guys think the next steps should be? Sound off in the comment section. Make sure to like, favorite, and subscribe. Stay tuned, and we'll have more videos available. Bye, guys.